So, here we are. It is the Edmonton Oilers. It is the future in net. It is the future of Connor Mac. We got a bunch of stuff to dive into today. I've tried to scrape the bottom of the barrel here to try to find relevant conversation points to talk about, starting out with the Edmonton Oilers goaltending situation. Because it's been no secret that based off of the caliber of play that Edmonton saw in net last year between Stuart Skinner and Cal Pickard, yes, it is true that Stu Skinner did have a very good run in the middle of the playoffs in the most recently completed campaign. Yes, it's true that Stu Skinner technically helped the Oilers get to Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals twice in a row, and Game 7 the year before. This guy actually does have the resume to put him in some pretty good territory. But with an .889 save percentage in the postseason and an .896 save percentage in the regular season, you can't really confidently say that Stu Skinner has turned out to be the goaltender that Oilers fans thought he was going to be back when he was drafted back in 2017 and back when he made his debut with the Oilers back in 2019. This is a guy who has not exhibited the most linear growth possible, and it's been really up and down. Not to mention the fact that Cal Pickard, while he's reliable to some capacity in limited stints, while he's fine in the regular season, Cal Pickard unfortunately did not show off all too well in the postseason either, which has opened the floor to some very big philosophical debates as to what the Oilers' appropriate measures in net need to be this year and what they needed to be last year. Because last year, the Oilers did make the Stanley Cup Finals with the same goaltending supporting cast. Pickard had a .915 save percentage in last year's playoffs. Skinner had a .901. Yet the Oilers ended up losing in 7 to Florida in the finals. You might look at .915 and say, oh yeah, that's not bad. It really isn't. But the thing is, the NHL is going down this path where all of a sudden, guys are scoring more points, guys are scoring more goals, league save percentages are going down, and Stu Skinner and Cal Pickard are going down with the crop. You're not seeing .915s anymore. You're seeing .886s and .889s. Which is why I wanted to turn our attention over to OilersDaily.com and a clip posted by OilersNation.com from the Jason Gregor Show as to what the Oilers goaltending market looks to be looking like. Big shout out also to Nicholas Worsley for subscribing here to the YouTube channel whilst we were recording this video. I'm going to leave a link in the description of this article on OilersDaily.com. The Oilers are actively looking to replace one goaltender, per Jason Gregor of OilersNation.com. Most recently, top Oilers insiders have linked the team to waiting for the waiver wire at the beginning of the season to force some moves, perhaps knocking loose a few young promising goalies like Michael DiPietro or Nico Daws. According to a report from Oilers insider Jason Gregor, the team is still actively looking to replace Calvin Pickard with another goalie with a higher ceiling closer to training camp. Included is a video clip where Gregor goes out there on the show and he says he doesn't really think the Oilers are looking for a clear starter, but rather they're looking for somebody to replace Calvin Pickard in a backup role. The quote here reads, "They're looking for somebody who's going to be an upgrade on Pickard. Whether it's in training camp, when you start to see some guys potentially out on waivers, maybe there's another Shelovs type of deal. Michael DiPietro in Boston is a player." And Gregor then goes out there and articulates the situation in Boston between Michael DiPietro, Jeremy Swayman, and Joonas Korpisalo, asking whether or not there can be some, let's just say, displeasure with the way Korpisalo has developed, whether or not he can be the full-time backup in Boston. Mikey DiPietro had a really good run in the AHL recently, and I think he's just knocking on Boston's door to being an NHL athlete. He did have a cup of coffee with the Canucks all those years ago, but let's forget about that. We don't need to be talking about .824 save percentage goalies after all. But Michael DiPietro is a name that Gregor links to Edmonton one more time. We have seen a bunch of other names popping up, but it does seem like, based off of Gregor's assessment, the Oilers are not really looking for a Skinner replacement. Looks more so like they're looking for a Pickard replacement. Thus, you can be a little bit more flexible because there are more backup options available on the market and in trades versus clear-cut number one starters. So, with that in mind, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. How do you feel about the Edmonton Oilers goaltending situation? And what are your thoughts on this assessment that a guy more so in the backup territory range can be the target here? Big shout out to Neo Krang for subscribing here to the YouTube channel whilst we are recording this video. But before we end off this commentary, I did want to shift gears a little bit, because the Oilers have a few other things to talk about, and one of them is none other than their franchise generational superstar, Connor McDavid. Take a look at this tweet. It's a little bit of a newer post, but it's an older report. Ryan Rishaug said on July 1st, so 25 days ago, that a late July, early August McDavid extension was possible. Haven't been a ton of reports. It seems like the two sides are keeping it quiet. We'll see if we get news in the next few weeks. And then, quoted on, it is the Ryan Rishaug quote, late July, early August. It wouldn't surprise me for the timing of the McDavid extension. I'd think 4 years could be the deal. So, this is long-term storytelling at its finest, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? This is one of the more connected Oilers reporters believing that an extension will be announced in the 1 to 2 weeks of August. It'll be after Draisaitl's wedding. Okay, that is interesting. Maybe so. Maybe after Leon's wedding, they'll get together and talk contracts. Who really knows? But for Connor McDavid, this is maybe a really interesting period for him, especially when you think about that wedding. I mean, Leon already signed long-term. I doubt that Connor is going to be watching his buddy walking down the aisle and being like, hey, so should I re-sign with Edmonton too? Like, no, they're not going to be talking about this stuff at the wedding, but I think just the camaraderie there and the passion that these guys have on the ice, it will bleed into whatever decisions start being made around this time, heading into the August parts of the summer. We have been seeing other reports from various insiders that maybe this August is actually a little bit more action-packed than normal. Connor McDavid, of course. I mean, look at the amount of points that this guy has had, all the 100-point seasons, all of the 100-assist seasons. Okay, he had one, but still. Connor McDavid had 100 points in 67 games played this year. The guy missed so much time, but he got 100 points. And he was like, yeah, okay, I'm good. I'm just going to wait for the playoffs. Like, this guy had a casual 100-point campaign. Obviously, there is reason for Edmonton to keep him around. There's no way they want to let this guy go. Really, an extension is going to come when McDavid decides it's going to come. So, we'll see whether or not late July, early August is the appropriate timeline, if Ryan Rishaug's assessment back at the beginning of July is correct. But for now, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the Oilers' goaltending search? Do you think Mikey DiPietro is indeed a name to pay attention to? And what are your thoughts on the Connor McDavid contract extension timeline? Comment section is your floor. Let me know how what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on. And bye.